So now I'm going to talk about social conditioning and why being an open-minded hipster works greatly in your favor when socializing, because if you're an open-minded hipster, then your thoughts of social conditioning go out the window, and you're open-minded enough to know that even if you think outside the box, big deal, it's alright, it's cool, because it's a big world out there and there's different opinions anyway, so why should it not matter? For example, I'm 30 years old. A lot of the women that I ask out are 7, 8, even 10 years younger than me. A lot of people who are under the influence of social conditioning would say, that's wrong, it's not cool, she's too young for you, bro. And I go, wait a minute, is she over the age of consent? 18. Yes. So, what's the problem? She's over the age of consent and she likes me. That's all you need. Age doesn't mean anything, especially if you know the facts. And here's the thing: for all heterosexual males out there, this goes to all of them. Okay, I don't care if you're sexually experienced. I don't care if you're inexperienced, or if you are my if you are my target audience for this video, which would be those who have social anxiety issues or Asperger's syndrome or whatever. It makes no difference. If you're a heterosexual male, listen up. The biological clock for a woman, which means the age limit to where she can have children, is way shorter than any man's. Okay? A man can reproduce if he is healthy and he has a good background, and if he stays active and doesn't eat junk food all the time or anything like that, and is in fair to decent to good health, can reproduce until he dies. I'm not lying. Okay, maybe not like, okay, maybe like, okay, that's stretching it out a bit. Okay, we'll put the cap at 70 years old, okay? A woman, if she's in nearly perfect health and has a good background history, may be able to produce up until the age of, we'll say, I think 40 or 45. So women have a greater time limit of, at most, we'll say 1.5 to twice as short as guys. Which means as soon as a woman hits 40, it's over. She can't produce children anymore. 40-year-old guy, he can produce children left and right. Especially if he works out, especially if he stays active, especially if he has a good, healthy lifestyle. So why should it be an issue at all for an older man to hook up with a younger woman? Hell, the older man's probably doing the younger woman a favor in that respect, because now the younger woman, the 25-year-old, doesn't have to wait for the perfect guy. The perfect guy is right there, even though he's 10 years older than her. It makes no difference, because she knows, and this is just evolutionary stuff that's in the back of our heads, we don't think about it. She knows that within 15 years it's over. 35-year-old guy, within 15 years he could still be producing children. So there you go. That's another thing that open-minded hipsters do very well. Okay? They research the facts about stuff, and then they make their judgment. Okay? It's different than a closed-minded hipster who just dislikes all, social conditioning at all. Okay? So there you go. That's my little message there. Alright? So if you're an older man and you want to go after younger women who are maybe 15 to 20, if you're decisively older, we'll say, if you're like 15 to 20 years younger than the women that you want to go out with, there is no problem in doing that. There really is not a problem in doing that. And you know what? If you think that there is a problem, this is what gets people to age, because they become more and more stressed out. Okay, I know guys who are my age, 30 years old, and they already have bald spot. They're already balding. They got the receding hairline. Some of them already have the donut hole head. You know what I mean? The whole thing where like where they're getting bald but not really, you know, and that kind of stuff. Why? Because they're putting unnecessary evolutionary pressure on themselves by saying, okay, I'm 25 years old. I better, you know, settle down. You know what I mean? Guys have all the time in the world to settle down and look for somebody. You have until, if you're a man, you have until like maybe 60 something. Does that mean that you should shirk on everything and you should just treat life as one big joke until that time? Not necessarily, although you can. Time will permit it, but it's just something to keep in mind. It's like I said, and I think my very first video of this is that if you keep an open mind about things, and you have that open mind, and you live that open mind, it's a different thing to have an open mind and to live an open mind. I live an open mind, okay? I go by first and second impressions, okay? I have a 3-strike rule. If you do something stupid to me 3 times, you're done. You know what I mean? So whatever. But even though I have that, I don't look at stuff like race and creed and ethnic background and other kinds of background like that. I look at what is said and done in a person, and that's why I think a lot of missed opportunities happen because we try to look beyond that, and we try to look at race, and we try to look at ethnic background and creed and stuff that we should really just be ignoring, because it all comes down to how someone, the stuff that someone says or acts. And when you know how to be open to pretty much any background, that's when you can meet a lot of people. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this 2-part video, and yeah, stay tuned for some more coming up later on. Peace.